Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Jaxon Show. I'm your host, Jackson Solomon, and today we are going to be talking a little bit about some college basketball. We're going to talk about some college championship weeks. But first, I have an announcement to make, and today's episode, we're going to put a little bit of gameplay over, my voice. I've received some information that, maybe it's a little boring when you're just looking at a screen. So we're going to put some retro ball over this and leave a comment whether you like it or whether you want me to go back to the old style. So, without further ado, let's get straight into it. So, conference championship week in the NFL. We had the Chiefs versus the Bills and the Eagles versus the Commanders. I picked the Bills and the Eagles to win, and we'll start in the AFC Championship game because I feel like a lot of people and a lot of not tempers, but people were upset about the outcome of this game, and honestly, who would it be, right? I mean, this is this is ridiculous. First of all, the fact that the Chiefs and the Bills are playing together against each other in the playoffs, I think this is the third straight year. Honestly, it just gets boring after a certain point. But this is the Brady versus Manning clone, right? I think that's the biggest comparison I think people have given this rivalry, and it's really not, I think that Josh Allen. Well, you can consider this a rivalry game, but Josh Allen hasn't won in the playoffs. For years, Brady beat Manning, and then Manning came back and he beat Brady. I think Manning was 0-3 against Tom Brady before he got his first win. Josh Allen has won against Mahomes 4 times. They've all come in the regular season. Mahomes has won against Josh Allen 5 times. So, I mean, to me, it just doesn't make sense. I think it's... This game, though, I feel like it was a well-balanced game. There were a lot of bad calls, I will say that. There were some bad calls in this game, but I think the biggest thing that I think a lot of people talk about is how those calls impacted the game. And I'll say this. They didn't impact the game very much. Because if they did impact the game a lot, then Buffalo would not have been in it with a chance to win the game. It was 29-32. It was 4th down and 5. Buffalo still had an opportunity to win the game at that point. So, I mean, honestly, the reason that the Bills lost was really because of what happened on that down, right? They sent a blitz. Kansas City sent a blitz. Allen tossed it up, and although Kincaid, had an opportunity to catch the ball, really wasn't a great, sliding catch. So, honestly, I feel like the Chiefs, you can't bet against them. As much as I hate to admit this, as just a fan of football, the Chiefs are going to three-peat. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. But next, we have the NFC Championship game with the Eagles Commanders. I don't think there's a lot to say about this game except for Philadelphia ran for 7 rushing touchdowns against the Commanders. The Commanders allowed the Lions to score 4 total touchdowns. So, I mean, it's just kind of what happened. It's hard to beat a team twice in a single season. I think I said that last week. The Eagles, it was, I think, difficult for the Eagles because... it was difficult for the... Yeah, it was difficult for the Eagles because last time you played this team, they came out and they showed this spirit. Even the first time they played, really, it was just both sides really showed that this is going to be a good rivalry. Now, honestly, the Commanders, I feel like they gave the league a good Cinderella story. Just like the Lions did last year, they gave, I think, football fans a good Cinderella story, a story that'll be good to watch for years to come. And honestly, I thought the same thing about the Lions last year, and I think the same thing of this Commanders team this year. But honestly, I honestly hope that nobody wins the Super Bowl. If not nobody, Philadelphia. But here is my feelings on the Super Bowl. Kansas City versus Philadelphia. Kansas City wins. I won't be very happy. But if Philadelphia wins, I don't want to see Philadelphia in the Super Bowl again. I don't even want to see Kansas City in the Super Bowl again. So somebody has got to beat them. I said if Kansas City wins, I won't have a problem. If Kansas City loses the Super Bowl, I won't have a problem with them winning it next year. I most likely will. And just the team, this team is very good. I will say that. Although this might be like one of the worst years or the worst year of the Mahomes era in Kansas City, I will say that. So, next, college basketball. Michigan, Penn State. Now, don't get me wrong. I haven't watched college basketball in a minute. That is the truth. Will that stop me from reporting on it now? No. Will that stop me from reporting on it in the future? Also no. But Michigan 15-5 after this win, and Penn State 13-8 after this loss. I feel like Michigan, they're trying to make the big dance, March Madness, the NCAA men's tournament. But yeah, honestly, I feel like that's the goal for Michigan right now. I still don't understand how college basketball rotations work. I don't think I ever will, but yeah, the biggest story in this game was Trey Donaldson. He had 21 points on 8 of 13 shooting, 3 for 7 from 3-point range. Made both of his free throws and led both teams in scoring. Penn State, their leading scorer was Nick Kern Jr. with 16 points and on 6 for 12 shooting. He shot no threes, 4 for 6 from the free throw line, 10 rebounds, double-double for that kid, definitely great. So, yeah, I feel like Michigan's been having a good season. I haven't watched a lot of college basketball lately, but I've kept up with Michigan basketball in particular. They've been doing great this year, and I feel like if they just didn't lose to Purdue, or they didn't lose to, I think it was UCLA or USC or somebody, if they just, I feel like Michigan, whenever they play against a good team, they lose. And that makes it really hard to defend why I'm a Michigan fan against all the state fans out there, that all the Michigan State basketball fans out there. Makes it more difficult to defend, but I don't know. Go blue, I guess. Duke versus NC State. Leading scorer for the Wolfpack was Dontrez Styles. Excuse me if I got the name wrong. 7 for 12 shooting. 4 for 6 from the 3-point line with 18 total points. And the leader scorer for Duke was Cooper Flagg. And I will repeat this. I do not understand how college basketball rotations work, because he played 37 minutes of a 40-minute basketball game. On 8 for 17 from the field goal line. He had 1 for 4 from the 3-point line. And he was fouled a ton, 11 for 13 from the free throw line. Not to mention the 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, and 1 foul. This kid, Cooper Flagg, and I don't mean any disrespect when I call him kid, because he's older than me, but I mean, he's incredible. What is he, 18, and he's doing this stuff? And I know people talk about, well, he's going to the league. He's got to go to the league. He doesn't have to. He could keep putting up and averaging 20 in college and change the game. I honestly think that he's a generational player. I think he has the potential to be a Zion at Duke, a Jason Tatum at Duke. except he might have like more of an ability to shoot. I will say this: Duke plays UNC on Saturday. Gonna be giving my predictions. Stay tuned for that this weekend. So yeah, Duke is number 2. And Arizona State and Iowa State. These two teams played the last night. Iowa State's the number 3 team in the country. Arizona is unranked. But they were 7-1 in conference play, while the Cyclones were 17-2 as of last night. That changed because Iowa State is 17-3 now, and Arizona is 8-1 in conference play. This team has 5 non-conference losses. It is, I guess you would say that's a tricky schedule. I mean, they just got into the conference play like a couple of weeks ago. So I don't know much about college basketball. I feel like I've said that a lot. But the one thing I do know about college basketball is that Caleb Love is a really good player. Now, he hit the game-winning shot to force overtime, which is kind of why he played 41 minutes. Kind of ridiculous because he played all 41 minutes. Because he did play 41 minutes, but he had 22 points at 8 for 22 shooting, 4 for 13 from deep, and 2 for 3 from the free throw line. Not to mention 2 assists and 2 steals. He's pretty good basketball player. He plays basketball. Iowa State, I will say this, they've been better as of the last couple of years in basketball. I don't know if that's just because of the coaching or because they got some really good talent. But I honestly, if I was looking at the game, if I looked at this line, it was like 2.5 for, I think, Arizona. If I looked at this line, and I totally would have picked Iowa State because I'm like, they're the number 3 team in the country. No way they're losing, but they did. In kind of upset fashion, kind of the fashion that kind of like makes your heart drop. That's all I have for today. This was a great episode. Thank you for listening. I also wanted to give a special shout out to Mr. Brody Gross. I wanted to thank him once again for coming on the podcast. And our next guest will be coming on very, very soon. I just got to sort all that information out. So, thank you so much for listening to The Jaxon Show. Like, comment, and subscribe. As always, bring a friend.